Wealth creation through property, ethical and sustainable property investment and development. Who is this webinar for? Property owners who may have a problem property, distressed property, fire damage, water damage, land for development, unused or underused commercial property, Japanese knotweed infestation, short leases, any sort of property problem, we can solve it. Property investors who are interested in great returns on investment, anyone interested in learning about how to create wealth from property, anyone wanting to learn from other people's mistakes rather than making them yourself, and anyone who likes free stuff. So who are we? We're Alpus Group. We carry out ethical and sustainable property investment and development in the UK and Europe. This is our management team. Myself, I'm the founder and CEO. Anna Lipcheva is our rentals director. Louise Suter is our group architect. And what is the property wealth formula? It's the achievement of 4 pillars. It's education, it's leverage, it's having a power team, and it's systems. So the first point, education, we recommend Your Property Network. It's a fantastic magazine which tells you all about all the different strategies for creating wealth from property. And you get excellent articles in there from well-known successful investors and developers. There's an article featured there from John Howard, the successful investor from Property Elevator. And we've got lots of other investors. Michelle Cairns is featured there, and Lyons. So if you want a 28-day free trial, you can click on the QR link there. After that, it's £23.95 a month thereafter. But you can choose whether you want to carry on with it or not. We've got a few Your Property Network magazines available for anyone who wants to pick them up if you just look on the desk on the side of the event. What Your Property Network magazine offers is a comprehensive suite of resources. So it's not only the magazine, but there are also webinars and master classes about different strategies such as buy, refurbish, refinance. And there's also a vibrant WhatsApp community as well. So it's more than just a magazine. So that's why it costs more than a magazine would normally cost. But you get an excellent support network and education from Your Property Network. Property Investors Network. This is a local meeting. I jointly co-host this, the Portsmouth PIN event. It's the 3rd Wednesday of every month. And basically what PIN enables you to do is to get property education and networking. So it gives you a support network. Monthly in-person meetings across the UK. There are 50 meetings all around the UK. There are 2 in the Netherlands as well. And it offers you a range of programs ranging from foundation level up to mastermind and even beyond mastermind level. So we promote Property Investors Network as the best education in the UK and also the best support network in the UK. I'm a PIN host, and I'll gladly talk to you about the meetings. And if you want to attend your first meeting for free, then you can use my code, which is Alan06, when you register at http://portsmouthpin.co.uk. So who am I and what qualifies me to talk to you about property development and investment? I'm Alan Edwards. I'm a chartered construction manager and project manager. I've managed major projects for several decades in the UK and internationally. I work for contractors, consultants and clients. So I've seen projects from all sides, the good, the bad and the ugly. I've worked with many different types of contracts such as JCT, NEC, FIDIC contracts, design and build, construction management. So all forms of contract I've got experience of, and I've carried out all sorts of developments. So that's residential, commercial, warehousing, retail, hotels, offices, as well as big infrastructure projects. I wrote a book about my experience. It's called Project Deliverance, the 20 Key Factors for Project Success or Failure, and it's available on Amazon. This is my personal story. My first project management experience, as opposed to construction, I got a lot of experience in construction beforehand, was I did 3 years of property project management in the Bahamas. I was engaged by the Hotel Corporation of the Bahamas, and I was the project manager on one project there, the Emerald Beach Hotel, where there's demolition of a big fire-damaged hotel, retaining one wing and making this into a functioning small hotel. And then I moved to Freeport in Grand Bahama and carried out a hotel and casino development at the Lucrative Beach Hotel. Chelsea Harbour development. When I was back in the UK, I worked for about 5 years on transformation of a derelict site in West London into the massive mixed-use Chelsea Harbour development. This is actually the Chelsea Harbour Hotel. You can see in front of you there. It's a very fine-looking building overlooking the marina. The marina wasn't actually in existence when we first started the development. We had to dig out what had actually been filled in. So we recreated the dock that had existed for barges, and now it's used for leisure craft. These are some more pictures of Chelsea Harbour development, massive development, lots of different types, and good quality construction, good quality design by Moxley Jenner and Partners, and basically a very successful development for P&O developments. Also project managed a project at 1 to 4 Hyde Park Gate for Cheval Property Management. This was a conversion of a high quality listed building in the area of the Albert Hall into 17 1 and 2 bedroom flats. It's basically serviced accommodation. It was carried out to a very high quality standard. This is indicative of the sort of quality standards here. 5-star luxury finishes in a grade 2 listed building, and this would rival the likes of the Dorchester or the Savoy or the Ritz or any of the other big hotels where families from the Middle East or overseas would come and stay in a suite in a hotel. These suites are available to those families at a cheaper cost, albeit a very expensive rental arrangement, and they can have their own chef come in. The maid service was already provided. So essentially a home from home for wealthy families. Another project that I had the privilege to be involved in was the Stratford International Extension Docklands Light Railway. You'll see at the top right the site before it was developed, and then the site was gradually developed to extend the Docklands Light Railway to bring it into Stratford International Station, which meant that people coming into England from France on the Eurostar could actually get off at the Olympic stop and get to the Olympic events. So you never heard anything about this project because it was completed on time and to budget. And the guy who actually was in charge of all the infrastructure was a guy called Simon Wright, who I actually had the privilege to work for. And he was awarded an OBE as a result of his efforts to bring in the Olympic infrastructure on time and budget. Crescent Development Project. I worked on this project for about 5 years, 3 years of which I was in Baku, and we actually reclaimed part of the site from the sea. The hotel site in the foreground was actually in the sea. It actually was part of the port, and we reclaimed the land to make the foundations, and then the sea was actually sort of let in back around the development. The Crescent City was a big office development as part of the same site, and Crescent Place was residential. There's also a retail block as well, so a massive development, $1.5 billion. This is another view of the Crescent Hotel. The Crescent city, the office and the residential. I also carried out major projects in the UAE and Macedonia after the work in Azerbaijan, and this is a transport link between Macedonia and Bulgaria, and then there were various other big projects in the UAE. I founded Alpus Group in Slovenia in 2015, and we operate throughout the EU and the UK. This was before Brexit, so obviously we had to make some changes to the contractual arrangements once Brexit occurred, but essentially we still operate in the UK as well as in the EU. And during this last few years, since COVID, I've undertaken a lot of education with Simon Zucchi, done a property mastermind, and currently on a Your Next Level mastermind with Simon Zucchi, and I became the host for the Property Investors Network meeting in Portsmouth, which is held at the Holiday Inn Express, third Wednesday of every month. I'm also a Property Entrepreneurs Network franchisee for Hampshire, which means that I get a lot of off-the-market leads for property investment and development projects in Hampshire. So why am I at all worth listening to? These are some testimonials I've got. One from the director of DLR, where I was leading the Arab team that was seconded into DLR, helping DLR to deliver the Stratford International project on time and budget. Peter Beckenham, an investor who I deal with based in Asia, and also one I'm particularly proud of, the client in Azerbaijan, the Baku present development project, gave me the testimonial. I carried out the work conscientiously, responsibly, highly professionally, intelligently led the construction project to identify potential problems and resolve complex situations in a timely way. Well, that's what property development is all about. It's about solving problems. Recent Alpas property transactions, holiday homes in Slovenia, purchase and sale, holiday lets in the UK, serviced accommodation in the UK, commercial to residential conversions in the UK, off-market deals under negotiation, and sale of a property in Azerbaijan. So my journey from management trainee to project director and Alpus founder and CEO has taken me from low value projects locally in Hampshire around Portsmouth to $1.5 billion biggest project, and probably overall in my career about $5 billion of management in various roles, different projects. I've got 40 plus years of experience, a lot of it spent with development clients, and I've worked in the 6 sectors that I mentioned: commercial, offices, hotels, retail, residential, industrial, infrastructure. This is my book, and what it actually concluded was that the factors for success are common amongst a lot of different types of project, and it really comes back to clear objectives and scope definition, effective stakeholder management, robust risk management, resources allocation and management, communication strategies, leadership and team dynamics, quality control and assurance, budget and schedule control, and change management, because inevitably there are changes and you just need to manage them in an efficient way. If you're interested in that book, you can click on the QR code there, and if you give us your name and address and email address, we'll actually send you this book for free. If you give that to our assistant at the desk, where you get the free YPN copies, you can also get a free copy of this book, Project Deliverance. You just have to pay the postage and packing, that's all, for wherever you are. These are the 20 key factors for project success. I don't think really we need to go through those all in detail, because these are all managed by the professionals, the design team, the management team, the contractor, who carry out projects for you. So as long as all these things are covered, then you as the investor don't have to worry. My business partner, Anna Lipcheva, I'll let her speak about her own story, but just as a brief overview, Anna is a serial international entrepreneur and property optimist. She has a bachelor's degree in economics and finance. She specializes in marine transportation and logistics. She's got experience in sales, finance, accounts, project management, property development and asset management. She's fluent in 4 languages and working on 5th and 6th languages at the moment. She's got a keen interest in fish keeping, fitness, live music and motorbikes. I know that Anna recently went on a big road trip from the UK to Bulgaria, where she was born, and that must have been a mammoth event, about 2,000 kilometres, I believe, on a motorbike. So what's so difficult about delivering development projects? You would think it would be easy, but it's all about managing the variables, the safety, which is absolutely crucial, because if you don't manage the safety right, somebody could go to jail if somebody's killed on your site. You've got to manage the quality. You only get one chance at quality, and you've got to get the best quality you can in the time and with the resources that you have. Managing the budget, you can achieve great things in great fast time, but sometimes it costs you more. So it's that balance of time and budget to stay within the constraints that you've got. And of course, completing on time. If you're late on repayment of loan, you may incur penalty interest charges. So the 20 key factors, we can distill those down into collaboration being essential between parties, setting up the project with pre-qualified contractors, aiming for good relationships between the parties. That's all of the management team, the design team, the contractor and the subcontractors, because so many times these days subcontractors are involved in the design process. So there's an iteration between the subcontractor, the specialist, say for example for lifts or cladding or mechanical, electrical, and the main contractor and the design team. We're talking about lots of interfaces, so there needs to be good communication, good relationships, and a culture of collaboration. Be reasonable in everything that you demand, taking account of the contracts and obligations. You need to basically recognise the limitations of the contract that you have entered into, and it may be that you can't force certain issues, that you have to pay extra for certain things. But essentially, what I subscribe to is being fair to all the parties, consultants, contractors and clients alike. So, do you have a property problem? If so, how to solve it? You need a new way. Basically, Alpus Group specialises in taking unused or underused, undervalued property and changing its use class to a higher value, then generating wealth and profits for all stakeholders. We're especially interested in land development sites for planning gain, commercial to residential conversions, blocks of flats, hotels. We'll consider purchasing any property, as we always have investors seeking UK properties. So no matter what your property problem is, if you talk to us, then we will help you to find a way out of the problem. Alpas Group presents our unique branded system. The first step of the Alpus system is A. A is for acquisition. So Alpus can acquire your problem property in a number of ways. We acquire properties for multiple purposes, for investment and for development. We manage rented property as well as develop for investment. We carry out joint ventures with property owners. We specialise in finding win-win ethical solutions. We can build your portfolio using our UK and European network. We can lease property short-term with a view to purchasing it later. And we specialise in finding creative solutions. L is for leverage. So what this means is you're leveraging our team and expertise. We have expertise and many years' experience in design and construction methodology. We specialise in finding ways to increase the value of property, such as by commercial to residential conversions, as an example. We specialise in planning applications and achieving value through planning gain. And we're specialists in rental properties to achieve the optimum value for investors. P is project design. So what this means is this is the future design. We ensure that the principal designer is appointed and all the legislation is conformed to. We evaluate each site or property to see how the value can be optimized. So we look at different design options to establish what may be possible on the site or property, and then take from a number of options what the preferred or recommended outcome should be. We complete preliminary risk assessments for each design option. We complete a feasibility study or studies for comparison and selection. We seek planning permission or use permitted development rights, preferably permitted development rights being a given planning permission, provided you conform to the 5 criteria that apply to permitted development. We establish a budget and contingency of time and cost. We formulate a procurement strategy. So this is the planning phase, when we plan how we're going to transform the value of your property from its current value, which may be relatively low, to its future value. And then U is the upgrade phase. So what we do is we take the option that's been decided on, we progress this into fulfillment. We implement the design. We carry out whatever civil and structural and finishing works are required, the mechanical, electrical installations. This is the transformation from the low value to the high value, and it's all done with the correct procedures in place, usually by appointing a principal contractor. There'd be a contract in place. Health and safety arrangements are allocated to the responsible parties. Any advanced works are organised. This is the development phase that is such a headache for many people, but we undertake it for you as part of our Alpus system, and we implement the design for you. So it's part of our process, part of our system. You get to use experienced people and experienced pre-qualified contractors, and essentially we take away the headaches. So S is for safe, secure investment return. So this is the completion of the transformation from low value to high value. We then put it into rental, usually, and we get higher returns. And this is the phase when Anna will talk about how to get the best returns from the best use of the particular asset. So if we're producing flats, Anna will talk about how we use these flats, for example, for serviced accommodation as one possible use. So Alpus Group are key players in property. We're property owners, we're property developers, we're property investors, and we carry out asset management. The types of property investments include residential, commercial, hotels, offices and retail, as well as mixed-use development and land. We take into account property trends, the remote work impact, the fact that there are less commercial buildings needed, such as for offices. There's a downturn in the high street retail requirements and secondary retail requirements, which means that there are more buildings available for conversion to residential, and that's what we're very active in. Property finance, we can arrange mortgages, bridging and development finance through our partners. Legal aspects of property, we carry out all the legal aspects of freehold and leasehold transactions, no matter what they are, freehold to leasehold splits, whatever the problem is, we can actually solve the legal aspects as well. So what are we doing? So whether you're a first-time buyer, a property owner or investor, we're here to help you, to teach, guide and provide professional support to help you create wealth through property development. Over the years, Alpus Group has been actively involved in construction and project management of many property developments and infrastructure projects, from the smallest works up to the largest at more than $1.5 billion. And what I realized is throughout all my career, actually, what I've been doing is looking after other people's money. We offer a range of unique strategies for revenue generation, cash flow, using innovative strategies wherever possible. For example, vendor finance, purchase lease options, assisted sales, where we can add value to an asset to assist the sale of a property at a higher price. Thereby we creating wealth, and we take a share of the profits from such an exercise. We're open to joint ventures for developments in return for profit share, and we also secure funding for our own developments from our own sources. This is Anna's case study, which she'll explain to you, but just running through briefly. 20 units as company assets, total of 120 units under management, average rating on booking.com of 9.8, which is brilliant. Airbnb guest favourite, over 80% occupancy, guaranteed income and over 20% ROI. So that's pretty good returns, and quite a remarkable case study from Anna, my co-director. This is another case study, 6 High Street, Alton. There are 3 adjacent buildings in Alton, Hampshire, all separate owners. We've actually acquired number 4. Number 6, the offer has been accepted, solicitors have been instructed. It was actually due to complete yesterday, but there's been a slight delay. Number 2, it's the Crown Hotel in Alton. Negotiations are on hold, the business is failing, and the leaseholder has surrendered the lease. So essentially what we'll do is we'll go back and try and renegotiate that property, maybe end of this year, maybe next year. These are the buildings concerned. We've got on the left-hand picture number 4, which is the lower of the buildings in the foreground, and number 6, which is the higher building just next to it. 2 handsome Georgian buildings there, grade 2 listed, and they were originally merchants' houses. So essentially what we're doing, we've got planning permission for both now. The number 4 to convert into 5 flats, number 6 to convert into 4 flats. So there are 9 flats there. And then at a future date, when we manage to renegotiate with the owner of number 2 High Street, the picture on the right, we will go back and look at redeveloping that into possibly 15 to 17 flats. Just depends on layouts, configurations, and planning approval. So the vision is that each building could be developed independently, but the cost would be higher. So what we've done is we've attempted to negotiate these as a land assembly. The pros are they're good quality buildings which will have a resale value premium. The listed building officer is supportive of returning the buildings to their original use, which were merchants' houses, and now they would be flats instead of merchants' houses, because nobody wants a house of 3,000, 3,500 square feet. In fact, number 6 is quite interesting because the servants' quarters are at the back of the house, so it's like 2 houses in one. You've got the merchant's house at the front and the servants' quarters at the back. There isn't a rear access at the moment, and we're just in the process of negotiating that with the joining landowners, and also it could be solved by acquiring number 2. So this is the sketch layout where we show number 2 at the top of the sketch outlined in red, and the potential development in the car park. 5 flats there, plus redevelopment of the existing building if we manage to acquire that. Number 4 is 3,500 square feet. We've got the planning approval to convert into 5 flats. Number 6, at the bottom of the page, we've got this boot-shaped garden which enables us to negotiate an access with a neighbouring property to get to the rear of the property, which would in fact increase the value of those properties. Planning permission, as I mentioned, we've secured this 12th of June 24 for number 4. We secured the planning approval for number 6 in July this last month, and we would make the planning application for number 2 once we've acquired it. So we have in mind the following principles: ethical investment, social and community focused, sustainability first. We conform to BREEAM, well and passive house standards, and transparency through open reporting and governance. Our investment process is we acquire undervalued assets in growth regions, apply sustainable design and development principles, enhance value with energy efficient technologies, and we exit via sale or lease with strong return profiles. This is another example at Newbridge Hill in Bath. We haven't actually succeeded in securing this property, although we have endeavoured to do so. It's overpriced, and the vendor withdrew from our negotiations recently. This is the outlook from the building, so it's a very attractive outlook from the building. It's got a big garden which would be suitable for some additional buildings, subject to planning permission. Planning permission was granted in 2013 for an 11-room extension to the care home, so that's about 50% more than the existing areas. 7,000 square feet at the moment, so it would have been another 3,500 square feet or so, so another 5 dwellings, equivalent 5 flats, and the existing building would convert into either 9 one-bedroom flats and 1 two-bedroom flats, or a smaller number of 2-bedroom flats. So we're just playing with the configuration, because what we would do with this building would be convert it into serviced accommodation, because in Bath, where the building is located, there's a big demand for hotel type accommodation. So this would be our repurposing from a relatively low value to a higher value. These are the layouts of the building. It's over 4 floors, 7,084 square feet. And these are some of the configurations that we've worked on, different options for 1 or 2 bedroom flats. These actually need to be evaluated depending on the end purpose and the decision made. Investor returns, typically annual returns on a simple loan, typically 8 to 12% capital growth with bespoke investment plans. We can talk to you if you've got a particular sum of money or a particular area of interest, such as ethical investment, affordable housing. We can discuss this with you. Transparent regular performance tracking and joint ventures which give higher returns. So if you want to schedule a call with me, you can click on the QR code there and we can discuss investment opportunities. How you can work with us: are you a property investor? Investment in property projects, you can collaborate with us there. We can offer you secured property in return for your investment over a period of time. If you've got any queries about the Alpus unique branded system, how it may be able to help you, we're offering a free consultation call with our directors for the 9th and 10th August workshop. Schedule a call with Louise Suter, who's our group architect, regarding design issues. And you'll see the number on the screen there. Schedule a call with Anna Lipcheva regarding rentals. Or you can talk to myself, and there's a QR code there to book a call with me on calendly.com/Alan. I've also given you my phone numbers. Do you want to build your property portfolio using the Alpus Done With You service? We're offering a 1997 60-day package where we work with you and get you a deal up to £300,000 value in an area of your choice within that 60-day period. And if you don't manage to find one, we'll actually work with you until you find one. So you can subscribe to Property Filter. There's a 30-day free trial there, which is the top QR code, and there's another QR code to book a call with me if you want to take advantage of the Alpus Done With You service at $19.97. And just for this workshop, there's a special offer on Done For You, so we'll actually get you a deal for $2,997. This is a normal price of $4,997, and if you sign up over this weekend, 9th, 10th of August, we'll actually undertake to get you a deal at that price, $2,997, up to £300,000 value in an area of your choice and suit your property strategy. So whatever it's HMO or rent to rent or flips or BRRR, whatever your strategy is, we'll undertake to find you a deal within 60 days. And if we don't manage to find a deal, which is literally impossible because of the software that we use, then we'll undertake to work with you until we get that deal for you. So it's a £2,000 off offer. If you want to contact us about anything else that you've heard or seen on this video, just use the QR code to book a call with me. That's calendly.com/AlanJE, and you've got my phone numbers on the screen there as well, 07539 141257 or 0333 224 1257.